Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new and quite frankly long overdue LEGO Star Wars review. First and foremost, I do apologise that it's been so long since my last review. Obviously with the holiday season and the new year and obviously trying to find the time in between work and maintaining a social life, it's been a little bit difficult to cram all these reviews in, but rest assured I'm back. I've got a plethora of Star Wars products to give you a look at, and we're going to pick up right where we left off at the end of 2014 with a look at some LEGO Star Wars sets. Now the set that I want to give you a look at in this review isn't actually from 2014 or 2015 for that matter, so we're going back in time a little bit with this review, and I'm going to give you a look at a set from Star Wars The Clone Wars. Now this one was released in 2013, and in my opinion up to now it's been one of the real highlights of the modern LEGO Star Wars range. Without further ado, it is of course this set, and it is the LEGO Star Wars Umbaran MHC, or Mobile Heavy Cannon. Now for those of you that aren't familiar with this vehicle, it did make an appearance in the Star Wars The Clone Wars animated TV series during the Umbaran story arc, which in my opinion was one of the best story arcs from the entire season. It featured some absolutely fantastic clone trooper action. We saw some really cool characters throughout that story, and it just epitomised the Clone Wars in my opinion. It was a really cool story arc, some fantastic episodes, and I'm really happy that LEGO decided to create some vehicles from it. So as you can see, obviously this is a separatist vehicle. However, we do get our fair share of Republic forces with this set, as well as a couple of very cool separatist troops as well. This is set number 75013 from the LEGO Star Wars range, and it currently retails for $49.99. So it does sound a little bit pricey, but we do get 493 pieces in this set, so the price to brick ratio is definitely spot on in my opinion. It's a really substantial build. You've got a really nice complex system surrounding the legs, and just overall it's a great looking set. Really impressed with it. And again, anything from the Clone Wars is fantastic in my book. So this is of course the box that the set comes in, and obviously you've got the 2013 green Yoda sort of branding on there. Got a fantastic image of the Umbaran MHC itself, as well as an accompanying image of the minifigures that are included. As you can see with this set, we do get Ahsoka Tano, a 212th Attack Battalion Clone Trooper, and 2 Umbaran soldiers. So I'll give you a look at those in just a second. On the reverse side of the box, we do indeed get a rundown of the features that the vehicle has, as well as some action shots of the Umbaran MHC as well. So before we jump into this review, I do want to point out that with this being a slightly older set, it may be a little bit more difficult to track down at retail. My local LEGO shop doesn't actually stock this one anymore, sadly, but places like Toys R Us and in the UK Smiths, they still have this one in stock, so if you do want to pick this one up, those are probably your best bets. So enough about the box, let's take a look at the set itself, and as always we're going to kick things off by taking a look at the minifigures, and we'll begin by taking a look at, in my opinion, the true highlight of this set, and that is of course Ahsoka Tano. Now Ahsoka was indeed one of the most popular characters from the Star Wars The Clone Wars series, and it remains to be seen whether she'll pop up somewhere in Star Wars Rebels. In the meantime, LEGO have created a fantastic minifigure representation of Ahsoka in this set, and it really does capture the look and feel of the character from the show. As you can see, they've sculpted some really cool parts for the Togruta head tails there. Got some fantastic sculpted and painted detail on those. Facial print is fantastic as well. On one side, as you can see, you've got that rather confident Jedi smirk, and if we flip the head tails around and take a look on the reverse side of the head, we have a much more battle ready and stern expression. As you can see, the printing on the entire figure is very well done, really nicely captures the look of those unique Jedi robes that Ahsoka wears. And of course, as you can see, we do indeed receive 2 green lightsabers with Ahsoka. Now this is of course based on her appearances from Season 3 onwards, where she began to use a regular lightsaber and a Shoto blade, which in Star Wars was one of a variety of smaller lightsabers. Obviously in Lego form it's just represented with 2 regular sabers. But a very, very cool figure indeed. And if you haven't picked up the Umbaran mobile heavy cannon, but you still want to get your hands on this Ahsoka figure, then she is also available currently in the 2014 set, which I believe was the Republic Police gunship, and she was packed alongside Anakin Skywalker and a couple of shock troopers, and that's a set that I'm hoping to pick up in the not too distant future. So there is Ahsoka. Obviously on the battlefields of Umbara, Ahsoka's going to need a little bit of backup, and we get that in the form of a 212th Attack Battalion Clone Trooper. Now this is a really cool looking minifigure, but I do have a slight issue with it, and this is a really sort of OCD issue, but it's not screen accurate. As we all know, the 212th Attack Battalion is designated by orange flashes on the armour, whereas as you can see with this minifigure, the flashes on the armour are indeed yellow. So he's more of a 327th Star Corps Clone Trooper. Don't get me wrong, it's not an issue really, it's not a deal breaker for the set by any means, but it would have been nice if Lego had have gotten that colour right. You know, it doesn't take anything away from the set itself, and Lego did indeed release some fantastic 212 Clone Troopers in their recent Utapau Battle Pack, but you know, it would have been nice if we'd have got that colour, you know, spot on with this guy. Needless to say, this is a fantastic figure though, and the torso and leg printing is fantastic as always. Captures all the components of the armour, as well as on the back as well. Also got very cool printing on the helmet, which of course can be removed to reveal the animated style Clone Trooper head underneath. In terms of weaponry, this particular Clone Trooper comes with a long blaster rifle, and again this guy is purely packed in with this set to provide backup to his Jedi General. So that's Ahsoka and the 212th Clone Trooper. Obviously these guys are going to need some enemies to do combat with, and in this particular set those come in the form of Umbaran soldiers. Now I'm a huge fan of these minifigures. It's not often that we see separatist vehicles released with anything other than battle droids or super battle droids, so to release some really cool alien characters is a definite plus, and in my opinion makes this set well worth the buy. These particular characters do remind me a little bit of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze from the Batman movie that was released several years ago, but that's not to say that these are fantastic figures. You know, I love the style of these guys, and they really do work well with the mobile heavy cannon. Now, as I said in the review, we do get 2 of these guys in the set. Now this is one of them, and the other one is concealed away inside the cockpit of the heavy cannon, so I'll give you a look at him in just a little bit. But they are both the same, they feature exactly the same printing and exactly the same weapons, so I can go through all those details by just giving you a look at one figure. So obviously we have a very unique look to these guys. You've got some really cool torso printing there, which looks fantastic. He does come with a blaster pistol, and he also comes with a very unique helmet as well. Now, from what I remember, this isn't 100% screen accurate, but we have to remember these are Lego minifigures. They're not going to be, you know, 100% screen accurate representations of the characters seen on screen, but it's a damn good effort by Lego. This figure looks fantastic. Obviously that helmet can be removed, and underneath we have a really cool and very creepy looking facial print, which once again is done in the animated Clone Wars style. So there we go, that is the Umbaran soldier, Ahsoka Tano, and once again the 212 Clone Trooper. So fantastic variety of minifigures in this set, really big fan of all 3. And as I said, I'll give you a look at the second Umbaran soldier in just a bit. So a great selection of minifigures. If you're not a fan of the set itself, the minifigures alone definitely make this one worth the purchase, and I'd highly recommend picking it up just for these guys. So let's take a look at the Umbaran MHC itself, and here it is. This has got to be, in my opinion, one of the most unique vehicle designs in the entire Star Wars universe. You know, we've never seen anything like this before. It's a fantastic design. Really big fan of this one. It just brings something completely new and fresh to the table. It's a really weird design. I just love it. There's not enough good things to say about this one. What I'm going to do for you is I'll give you an overview of all the features and what have you that the vehicle has, and then nearer the end of the review we'll take a zoom in and analyse some of those finer details. So first and foremost, we do indeed have a rather large cannon on the top of the MHC. Now this cannon is indeed operated by a trigger or an arm underneath the vehicle, which can be rotated 360 degrees, and that operates the cannon on top without actually touching it. So that's a really nice feature that LEGO decided to integrate into this set. Not only that, but the cannon itself is indeed articulated, so you can adjust the height and position of the cannon itself. As you can see just there, we do have a hinge which allows us to extend the cannon, and when this thing is stationary we can proceed to hinge it back down like so. On top of the cannon we do have a rather large rocket firing feature, and as you can see the missile that's included with this one is one of the large Technic pieces, which has some decent range on it as well. If you press the button on the top just there, the missile goes firing out at some speed, so definitely be careful when playing with this set. So that's the cannon. As you can see at the front of the set we do indeed have a cockpit area, which is indicated by this very cool looking translucent blue pod. All you do to access the cockpit is just lower down the hatch, and as you can see inside there we do indeed have the second Umbaran soldier. He's just chilling out there awaiting the battle. There we go, he's hidden inside. We also have another hatch at the back of the MHC, which just opens like so, and again allows space to fit another minifigure. So very cool indeed. We've also got some really nice stickers applied to this one. As I've mentioned in previous reviews, I love the purple and blue and greys that are used in the prequel era Separatist vehicles, and this one's no exception. We've got the Separatist emblem on the side, we've got some really cool panelling there, some pretty cool bug eye looking stickers at the front. Just very cool overall in terms of look and design. As you can see just below the cockpit area we do have some headlights. Umbara is a very dark planet, so this thing's going to be able to need to be able to see where it's going. And you've also got some added artillery on the bottom in the form of 2 blaster pistols which operate as extra firepower. On the sides of the Umbaran MHC we do indeed have 6 individually articulated legs. As you can see these do move out in different positions, so you can really pose this one as and how you want. Gets this thing in some really cool looking modes. As I said, each of these legs are individually articulated, not just at the joint to the body, but also at the knee and the ankle as well. So you can position this one in all sorts of weird and wonderful ways. All in all, I believe that does it in terms of features. As I said, it's a really fun design. I had a lot of fun putting this one together and even more fun playing with it. Yes, I am a big kid at heart. But as you can see, it just looks fantastic. It's a really nice looking design. In my opinion, it's one of the best Separatist vehicles to oppose your Republic vessels. So, if you've got a Republic gunship that you want to fly into action, and you want it to shoot up something a little bit different to a battle droid or a vulture droid or something like that, this is one of the most unique sets that you're going to be able to pick up and add to your armies. It's a really, really cool one, and I'm a huge, huge fan of it. So as I said, before we wrap up this review, I'm going to zoom in on this thing to give you a look at some of the finer details. Just grab that missile there. As you can see, it's huge and pretty heavy. So again, I'd strongly advise against firing this at people or animals, as it might hurt. So let's just pop that back in there and zoom in on some of those details. As I said, you've got a really nice complex build to the leg system on this one, so that alone really makes it worth the money. Really nice mechanisms all over this one. Just a great looking vehicle. As I said, the design of this one is very, very unique. Probably never going to see anything like this again. So grab it while you can. So once again, we'll just open that cockpit up and give you a look at the soldier inside. So there we go, guys, the Umbaran MHC, set number 75013 from the LEGO Star Wars 2013 range. Again, get this one while you can, guys. It won't stick around for long. Obviously, with the influx of 2015 LEGO Star Wars products and the imminent arrival of the Force Awakens merchandise, sets such as this aren't going to last long. So if you want it, get it, and trust me, I'd highly recommend getting it. Great set and one of my personal favourites from 2013. So I hope you enjoyed having a look at this set. Once again, set number 75013, the Umbaran MHC. And I will be back with some more LEGO Star Wars product reviews very, very soon. Got tons to look at, as well as some Hasbro figures and vehicles as well. So as always, guys, I want to thank you for watching this review. And until next time, keep collecting and may the Force be with you.